Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's early in the morning. Mind, body, and soul. Daily discipline is how we get through. Let's get into today's topic. I want to talk about depression. We've all gone through depression. Some of you may be going through it right now. Some of you may be having depression and you don't even know it. That is entirely possible. That you're not really paying attention. And you may have slipped into patterns of depression, behaviors of depression, and you're sliding down that hill towards that abyss. Some of us are already in there. Some of us have been in that black hole for years. Depression, I know what it's like to be depressed for a decade at a time. And depression can turn into your baseline, where that's all you know. That really lowers your status. Your status in the social hierarchy of society. One of the first signs that I notice sometimes with people that are depressed, even if they don't notice it themselves, is self-isolation and withdrawal. We self-isolate and withdraw for various reasons. I do it all the time because I get overwhelmed easily. I can become overwhelmed by attitudes and vibes of others. I look at it as me just being too sensitive, and that's really what it is. We can become too sensitive and go on an emotional roller coaster ride over just the littlest things. And it happens for me typically when I get in that overly sensitive mode that sends me on that emotional roller coaster ride. It's just simply because I'm not processing emotion well, and I become overwhelmed with emotion. It's like my jar gets full and I need to empty it, or it overflows or bursts, better yet. It's like blowing up a paper bag, or any kind of bag. At some point it'll just get bigger. It is just gonna blow. That balloon is just gonna blow. We can feel like that. We just absorb so much of what's going on around us. This is why with Taoism, Buddhism, almost every kind of religion or philosophy talks about just letting things go. In Christianity, they talk about faith in the same respect, to just kind of give to God and let it go, man. Just float along that river, go with the flow. You don't have to control it. When we fail to control life, we can easily become depressed. We can easily start to become overwhelmed. It's important to be able to navigate properly and to be able to go with the flow of life, yet still be going in a direction and still be going with purpose. Yet you're just kind of willy-nilly, ambling along, and you get there. It's a lot easier way to travel than somebody who struggles the entire time, fights the entire time. You get from point A to point B either way. But so much of life isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. That's why it's important to be able to have constant diagnostic inward sight, so you can correct your course with little minor course corrections along the way. Everything that we do in life is incremental, but it adds to a larger goal. I'm not worried today about my goals that are at the end of this year or the end of next year or 5 years from now. I have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 1-year plan, but I have a daily plan. I got a fucking daily plan written right here on my sheet that I go through. My life is about today, incrementally. What I'm gonna do after making this fucking video. That's what my life is about. The here and now. And it's a mission for me to conquer this moment. And when all I have is this moment, I don't have the life to conquer, I have this moment to conquer. For me, that's easier. I get less overwhelmed with that. And I just take life moment to moment incrementally. In each moment, I want to be able to feel powerful, feel calm. Power and calmness go together. I want to be able to feel content, because happiness might be a fantasy of the weakling. But a warrior knows what contentment is. You can be content when bombs are dropping. When World War III is going off, it's a mentality. It's an inner peace. And I want to feel this in every moment for a reason, because I have decisions to make every moment. We have decisions to make every second. And I want to be able to make those decisions healthy, properly, with strength. And that way, each incremental step is done properly, is done with power instead of with weakness. Because when you step forward with weakness, you navigate in a weak way. You can easily get straight off course. The reason why I wanted to talk about this today was really because of a Jordan Peterson quote that I heard earlier when I was doing my morning studies. I hope you guys are staying up on your morning studies. It's so important because it helps me and helps you, helps everybody to think. You think every day. You want to move forward with your evolutionary process of thinking, to think in a higher way today than you did last week. I'm smarter today than I was last Thursday at this time, because I've had 7 days of hardcore study and thinking. Think every day. The quote I wrote down was, establish a relationship with a transcendent value because it never runs out of motivational power. And I really thought that was an interesting idea, especially putting it in the context of depression. And so many times with depression, we are looking for that lifeline. We look towards our support group, and when they're not there for us or available, which often in a busy society when people have their own problems, and it seems like those that we used to know that were the most stable in our life are now as fragile as we are, and maybe it's because of politics and COVID and various economic aspects, but who knows. But sometimes it may feel like that our support group isn't there for us, and that can send us even more isolated, more withdrawn, more depressed, because we're always there for others or they're never there for us, and we go into these modes of weakness, of wanting, of desperation for validation. Validation isn't going to solve your depression. So many people think that it does. This is why they go on Instagram. This is why they go on these dating sites. This is why they have one-night stands. This is why they chase vice and chase pleasure. Validation isn't going to solve anything for you. We need a source, a well to draw from. A source of life, a source of hope. A transcendent value, and you can Google that term, can provide that motivational power for you because it never runs out. And it can also help to get you out of your isolation, because with transcendent values, things like spirituality, you could go join a group. Stay away from cults. I have a whole nother video about cults. But you could join a group of like-minded individuals and share some of your intellectual thoughts, your philosophies, your beliefs, That's what spirituality really is. It's just philosophies and beliefs. People get scared of it. I don't want to believe in God. I'm too smart to believe in Santa Claus. Nobody's telling you about that shit, man. I touch on religion briefly in some of my videos, and people get all freaked out. They want to comment and really get mean and angry, and let's just call it like Jordan Peterson calls it, a transcendent value. And why would you believe in some stupid ass transcendent value? To keep you going every moment. To be able to draw from a source. I've noticed that depression and narcissism seem to go together. I'm not sure which comes first. We all have narcissistic tendencies, but depression seems to lead to more narcissistic behavior. So maybe it's depression that comes first, and then we go down a road of narcissism. Or you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but maybe we start off narcissists and we have a control over that, and most people do. We have narcissistic tendencies. Everybody does. Babies do. Adults do. Anybody does. But you can control that if you're conscientious enough. But then when we become depressed and we start to self-isolate, we start to lose connections with others, we start to lose a connection with ourselves. This is the problem with self-isolation and withdrawal, is that loss of connection with others. We have to remember that we're social creatures. I love being alone. I enjoy it. But I realize within myself that when I am alone for too long, I do start to lose my connection with humanity. And that by nature will cause you to start to lose connection with yourself, and your depression just gets worse. So this is why being around others can lift our mood. See, it's all about this moment. What are you going to do in this moment to conquer life? Forget about the next moment. Just this moment right here. Could you do anything? If you're feeling weak, is there anything that could be done? Could any human? Maybe you're too weak to do anything, but could somebody else? What would somebody else? Just fantasize. What would a strong person do in any given moment to navigate their life with strength? What would a strong person, how would that look like? What would that be? Formulate that image in your head. Fantasize about that all day. You'll become it. I don't know if anybody's getting this shit to this morning, but this is the vibe I'm on for Thursday. Thanks for watching.